Welcome to the Why Ooze podcast. I have a very special guest today. Well, let's just say three beautiful women here. And I'm excited to introduce them, but I want them to introduce themselves. Here in Why Ooze, we want to talk about the community, uplift those out there in the community. And this one particular group here, very special, they're about to launch something very, very nice in Arizona. And this is wicket.org. But
Join the journey, let's pass the time with culture, dreams, and hearts that climb from American Samoa shore to America, we're so much more.
Karen, introduce yourself. Tell me a little bit about yourself, and then we'll go from there.
Right. Well, my name's Karen Guerrero, and we are debuting Wicket Academy starting in the 2025-26 school year. Wicket is an acronym for World Innovation, Collaboration, Knowledge, Education, and Technology. And we really want to bring the best of STEM education to the classroom and to the learning space. The Wicket Academy, we really are starting because so much of the school system is limited in supporting teacher creativity and in supporting student-centered approaches. And so a big passion for me is working with Nidra and Liz and really supporting teachers. Teachers are passionate, they're caring, they're innovative, and they bring so much to the learning space. And we want to provide a place where teachers can do what they know is best for kids. We want our learning to be hands-on. We want it to be place-based. We want to use technology and creativity and really provide student-centered approaches with lots of choice. Some ideas that we have is things like entrepreneurship, where students will start their own businesses. We want to have field trips and do place-based STEM learning. We want to use AI and VR, and we just want to have choice for kids so they can find things that get them excited about learning, and it'll be a space where teachers love to teach and kids love to learn.
Nice. You want to introduce your team?
Sure. All right. So next who's going to share out is Nidra White, who is an educator for many years. And Nidra, if you can introduce yourself and tell us your why.
My name is Nidra White. I am retired now. Taught in the educational system for 47 years. Boy, almost forgot. But I still have that desire. So now the why, as I said before, I had firsthand to know how education was going. I am not pleased with what I see. And I feel that they put out a one-size curriculum that's supposed to be for all children. And I don't think it's a one-size-fit-all. Teachers are pressured to do these type of curriculum. They're not allowed to be creative like they want to be. They're not allowed to be teachers, and it's not fair. They go to school like everyone else. They get educated. So I think teachers know best. But if we allow them that environment where they can thrive, I think that we will have happy teachers and happy students. We want to make sure our students are creative thinkers, critical thinkers, and be able to have hands-on. We want place-based learning to bring the learning to life, because we believe that's the best way to really learn, and not just by books, but actually doing it and seeing it. We want to make our school where it teaches the whole child and not just pieces. We know that a lot of social, emotional things are going on with kids. So, if you develop that personal relationship with them, they're ready to learn. So we want to be able to give that to our students where they will develop along with the teachers.
And last but not least is Liz Fueva, and who has lots of expertise as well in the teaching profession. So Liz, if you want to introduce yourself and give us your why.
My name is Elizabeth Fuiava, and my why to joining these two educators in piloting a new school is because when I first met Karen, that was probably the first in a long time that, I felt like a great educator. And what I mean is, you like to work together with people who can lead and guide you and at the same time provide you resources. And so Karen introduced me to place based PD, which is most of the PD that I know is always in brick and mortar. We're always in the building. So because her and Nidra both, they're educators of 20 plus years, and myself being the same, we've been here a while. We've seen the education system, and it's time for us to venture out and bring out a product that we believe in versus relying on people to vote this in, vote that out. But I really am supportive of the vision that Karen has for students, because a lot of the stuff she did introduce to me during these PDs are all research based, and I believe in that. And like Nidra said, we're here to teach the whole child. My why is because I know the kids can do much better in a thriving environment that we plan to give them through this type of schooling. It's going to be a smaller setting, and it's going to be, I love the way Karen said it, the way we want it. We're going to have education. We're going to teach the way we want it, because I started off teaching and I had no idea what I was doing. Thank God for American Samoa. They had a lot of teachers go through the cohort programs through and other programs, and I was fortunate to get trained. And like I said, I felt like I was thriving, and then you kind of plateau as a teacher. The trainings don't feel, the PDs get to be a little, stagnant, like you're not growing. But like I said, when I met Karen through her many place-based PDs, I'm a strong believer in that, and that's one focus we have in this new school, and entrepreneurship, and just let it be student learned. So my big why is it's for the students. It's for the students because we know they can do better. And there's much more other reasons, but I still have a job that I want to keep, so I'll keep it right there.
Good answer. Good answer.
Can you talk a little bit more about the whole child and how you were talking about like their their academics, but also their body and health and nutrition? And will you talk a little bit more about that? Because I think that's a really important part.
When we were sharing as a group, Nidra, Karen, and I shared on my own experience with health challenges, and being just recently being discharged from the hospital. I started recognizing, that it's what I've deposited in my body. And as an educator, seeing all the snacks that come through my room, right now in my own household, we are really looking at ingredients. The less the better. We have a new politician out there who's encouraging more healthy options for the US versus what they give to other countries, the manufacturers here. So that really, gave me a really big insight that I need to start doing this for my students as well, because at first I used to think, let's eat healthy, but then I would sit there with my bottle of Coke and my chips, and I'm trying to tell my kids to eat healthy. But now I'm actually eating healthy because I have no other choice. But that's one thing that I want to bring to this school as well, is to really bring research-based, healthy, nutrition knowledge to our students so that they can grow up and be strong. And another thing with spiritual aspect, all my
Yes.
buddies here, Karen and Nidra, they're both believers. And that's one thing we connected really well with. And we also want a school that is going to be faith based, where we can utilize biblical principles to train up a child, as Proverbs 22, verse 6 says, train up a child when he grows old, he will never, steer away from it.
Part.
So the spiritual part, we want to help with these students, because nowadays that's all you hear the ranting about mostly on media is student behavior, and we bring to the table not only prayers, but teaching in a loving biblical way. That's what I meant by the whole child. And of course, physically, athleticism, which I am not, at all athletic, but I do walking. So, we can promote all that and tell why those parts are important. Teach our kids how to live longer and make better choices.
We really we have the expertise for for taking care of the academic needs of the child
Right.
and the children that we are doing, but we also have the belief and expertise and just experience for the social and the needs for social learning and kids making friends and kids learning how to go out into their community. This is going to be a big community-based school. The physical needs, so not just exercise and sports and physical activities, but making it part of their day, but also, as Liz talked about, is the nutrition part of it and really embracing the nutrition side of our beings. So spiritual, academic, social, and emotional. And then just like I said, we want to provide skills that help kids grow into leaders in their community, leaders in their family, where they have choices to go into the workforce, where they have choices to go on to college. We want to provide those kind of skills and experiences and connections to the community.
What was the biggest hurdle you faced in launching this school, and how did you overcome it?
Well, I think we still are overcoming it, and I think it's because you're bringing together three dynamic educators with lots of experience. It's what to like narrowing down what we want to focus on so we can tell the families all the cool things we're going to be doing in a succinct, you know, elevator pitch. And fortunately we're going to have lots of time with the students, so we're going to be able to provide all the experiences across the year, but trying to show how much we know that kids need. And I know parents know what their kids need. They want their kids to feel safe at school. And we know that sometimes is not something that's always available in the school system. We want our kids to feel like they're a part of the community, which is really important to us. We want them to succeed academically. Of course, we want them moving forward, but we also want them to not experience schooling, but experience education. We want them to continue their love for learning. And if they've lost their love for learning in the school system, we want them to come to a place where they regain that love for learning, because we just as human beings love to learn. And when you find what a kid is passionate about, that's what you tap into to help them learn
Mm,
the math skills and the reading and the
right.
writing and the civics type things. So I think trying to find a succinct way to say all the cool things we're going to do, so that parents know that they're sending their kids to a place that's safe, that's going to be academically rigorous, that's going to support the social needs of those kids, and it's going to help them grow into the amazing people we know they're going to be.
Parents are fed up too, and they want to find a place. I'm a parent, so I would want them to put a place where I would put my own student, my own child. We want to get the trust back from the parents because they hear this and they hear that. So we want to be able to also have them be like partners with us so they can create things that they want to see in the school, and they have to help us to do that too. Um, like we said, our kids, they learn differently, the seven intelligence. We want to find out how they learn and how we can help the parent to help us teach their child. So basically, we want a family type school where
Yeah.
we feel
Amen.
like family, a place to come, a place to feel free, a place that we can just be encouraged and just be there for our kids. I think we lost that and the kids became a test. We don't
Mm,
want that. We want the kids to come and enjoy learning and know that learning can be fun. Learning is hard work, but it also can be fun. So we want to just address education from all different angles so that we can produce that child who's ready to get out there and change the world, if you say.
Absolutely. That's why it's important to have the curriculum, and it's exciting to hear the type of curriculum that you guys already have set up and willing to provide to the children. And obviously, it's important to get the community, the parents involved. So, what are like some of the plans you guys have, to get more of the community involved, the parents involved compared to what's currently, happening in, the public schools?
We talked about family nights, like maybe once a month. Karen also brought up, and these could be like parental involvement events where we meet up with our parents, and then there will be place-based learning. And that's one thing I love about meeting Karen and Nidra is because if a teacher like me is enjoying these place-based trainings, we went to Puerto Rico
Can't
together,
even
went
imagine.
to the
Yeah.
US Virgin Islands, we went to different states that I've never been. Imagine what the kids are going to feel like. I mean, so many Arizonans have never been to the Grand Canyon. I'm one of them, but guess what? With Karen's little grant and her PD, I went there. So, that's the kind of passion that I see in myself. And Karen is such inspiring. She inspired me to continue to have that passion, to where like the light was growing dim. And when I met her at the right time, because I'm like, yes, it's still possible. Because like what Nidra also mentioned, it's just about testing, testing, testing. And, the kids are more than that. They're way more than that. And they need time to expand their creativity. We see less and less all around the nation, less and less opportunities for art within schools. And, it's like everybody's specializing in one thing. But I think the biggest key with us here is we're basically going to be student driven, period.
Mhm.
Not data driven, like, I mean, yeah, data, because we got to keep data on what's going on. But what I mean
Right.
is not test driven. Maybe that's a better word.
We learn from experiences. And so we really want to take our
Yes.
kids out of the four walls that's often the learning space and learn where we actually learn. Go to a garden when we're learning about gardening and nutrition, and go to a farm when we're learning about life cycles or where our food comes from. And part of the entrepreneurship is the students are going to create their own business, and they're going to help plan our annual trip where the entire families go, and they're going to communicate with their families and help plan the trip and help decide and figure out how to finance the trip, including using their own business to do that. And so families are going to be involved through their students, through their kids, and I think it's going to be a really exciting experience for our learning community.
We're going to kind of give the parent an assessment for their children so that we will know exactly what spots they would like for us to hit. We also want them to be involved in the homework. Now, our homework is going to be a little bit different, so it will take parent involvement. And all they have to do is check off, that their student is doing certain things, and have the students be able to go home and say exactly what they learned. Because some students, they go home, what did you learn? I don't know. You didn't learn anything all day? I don't know. But I think if we have some questions for the parents to question their children, then that will get them involved too. And parents will know what they're doing in school, and then it would make the kids think about what they're learning and remember what they're learning. And we want the parents be a part of everything that we're doing, even if it's helping us with some of the curriculum, even if it's helping us plan some of the trips, even if it's volunteering, come in and help. It takes a whole village
Right.
to teach our
Mhm.
children.
Absolutely.
So
And
that's what
something
we want.
Nature had talked about is really parents being a true partnership. Parents are the kids' first teachers, right?
Teachers.
Hmm.
Yep.
And they're the ones who are the experts of their kids. So really making it a true partnership and working with those families to make this learning experience valuable and exciting for the kids.
Liz, you mentioned earlier how you were so excited with the trips you've been on with Karen, and I know you shared with me a lot of those trips because, what I'm getting at is when students see their teacher that actually cares and are excited about, their job, it makes the kids more engaging, correct? So can you touch a little bit on you being so excited, like what type of things, programs you guys do on these trips? Just get just an example or two. Is it a different way of teaching and just engaging all the teachers? I mean, it just sounds exciting.
First of all, my first trip with these two, that Karen had us go from state to state, and we did a lot of traveling on the train. We did one trip on the train. We did trips on the charter bus, and it was never a time wasted. Even when we're sitting on the bus, that was our classroom. So people were presenting even like on the bus, and we're passing by the monuments. We're climbing on the monuments. We're like we're to be there. Like what Karen said, if you're gonna teach about gardening, take them to a garden, and like just having the explicit like hands on right there in front of you. that's what got me excited. And not to mention, they were landmarks, that I've never been to. And I just think the geography piece of it, which Karen was introducing to me in that, the biggest piece that I took away on my first trip with Karen's many, many PDs, place based, was when I first signed up for the first trip. I was thinking, and she put this out on a American Samoa DOE page. And so I'm over there, and I'm like, oh, this is Arizona. So I signed up, did everything, and then she reached out. I was thinking it was going to be a 7-day on campus at ASU. And then they brought me the itinerary, and I was like, airplane, and train. I was like, oh my gosh. I'm like, honey, I'm traveling with these guys. And so it all started right there. And I've been on field trip with kids all the time, and they love that. I mean, look at me. I got excited with, these trips we've been on, and the kids really love that. And so, like I said, I thought it was going to be a study of the American presidents. I didn't really read the piece that said through the lens of the indigenous people.
Indigenous people.
So while I was on this trip, what really opened my eyes was a refocusing of what I've been learning from school in America. Growing up, I've never heard this side of the story. So it was like what Karen called her training. It was traveling or learning about Midwest through the lens of indigenous. So that was a big eye opener and just opened more doors for me. And that's what I love most about place-based learning.
Yeah.
Well, the cool thing about it, which I want to just add to that, is I was learning along the way too. So although I helped coordinate the learning spaces, there are so many people out there who have the expertise. So we learned about westward expansion through the lens of Indigenous. I'm not Indigenous, and I don't believe I should be the one who's teaching that content. They have the knowledge. And so we met with elders and experts and Indigenous professors and teachers along the way to really learn, to relearn what we've learned in textbooks, to learn it from various perspectives. And same thing when we
Yes.
went to learn about the U.S. territories and the people, we got to hear their stories in learning about what their history and their geography is, and learn about, just like medicinal plants that they use for medicines and for foods and things like that. We got to learn from them and not pretending like we as educators have all the knowledge, because we don't.
Mm-mm.
Have contacts who have contacts who have contacts who
Mm,
have that body of knowledge, and getting the kids out into their world and learning about things, learning about farming from a farmer, not from a textbook, and learning about, AI and VR and really the possibilities of using all these new technologies from the business people, and learning about entrepreneurship from CEOs in the community. So I think that's so important that we got out of that.
As you see the excitement of both of these women, it brought out the kid in you. When we went on these place-based, yeah, we're like, ooh, this is exciting. So that's the same feeling we want our kids to have. So kids don't care about what you know, they just care about that you care about them. And some of these kids have never been out of Arizona, or probably never been out of their house on a field trip. So when we were limited to taking children on a field trip, and I thought field trips are very important because you don't just learn from the book, you learn from those experience. Most of my kids who were really smart were kids who were exposed to different things. Like if I'm talking about the Grand Canyon, oh yeah, I went there and I saw this, so they can relate to what I'm teaching because they've been there. A lot of kids are just limited and just haven't seen the things that they can see. We want to expose them to the world because we want to give them a whole wide learning. So, not just in the books and sitting down, we want them to be excited, make learning their own as we transform this new school into what we want it to be. I'm not putting down other schools. Those teachers did the best they could for what they had. So we just want a school that a student can just be able to have a choice and not try to put down other schools. We just want to make sure that these are things that we wanted to do. Like when we went on the place-based learning, we had to make lesson plans, okay? And those lesson plans, we were supposed to take it back to our classroom and see how it works. However, we were limited to that because you have to go by curriculum and you cannot deviate from the things that they want us to do. So I'm waiting to try some of those to see how they really work on our kids. So that's what made it really wonderful, and I really appreciate Karen for doing that because I'm gonna be honest, I had burnout a long time ago. But when I put in the application with Karen and I was selected to go on these place-based learning, she brought back that magic and she brought back that excitement to make me want to go, yeah, I could do this. I can do this.
Yeah.
And the cool thing is we learn from each other. So
Yes.
Liz, I don't know if you guys know this, but Liz is the gamification queen. Um,
Yes.
she gamifies everything and everything she teaches, and she makes it fun. And so I've learned so much from Liz on how to make, not just the end of the unit activity or the end of the lesson game, but she gamifies everything you do so that kids are engaged and on top of things and wanting to answer and wanting to
Mhm.
investigate and wanting to learn skills and improve on their skills so they can be more competitive in the game. And so we learned from each other
Yes.
all of these skills and traits, and we plan on bringing that exciting play to the learning space at Wicket Academy as well.
Yes.
That is going to be so exciting, so amazing. The simple fact that you all want to provide hands-on and in current situation, especially with, like you said, you're going to have the students plan the trips, financial, and eventually add the AI, be taught by the business people or by the AI specialists, because that's very important how to move to teach on what is going on with, current situations.
Mhm.
Instead of being behind the ball, and then, when the kids got to come out and you're still teaching about the same, like, say, history, whatever, and then for them to come out, they gotta learn how to, finance their checkbooks or whatever.
Yeah.
Us, we say checkbooks, but nobody knows what checkbook is these days. you know, how to use a debit card, how to open a bank account, simple things like that. So this is very, very great to hear. That Wicked is about to. You guys already launched, right? Or you guys are about to?
We're about to. We're
We're
launching
about.
for next school year, so in August. Yep.
Oh wow! So
Yeah.
where do you see? I'm so excited. So I want to be there when you guys launch. Whatever celebration you guys have. I want to come out there and record you guys. Because this is very exciting. Let's just say, where do you guys see yourself? After you launch. I know. I just like to know the future, like in 5 years. Where you guys see Wicked in 5 years?
I know for me, I hope it to franchise. I hope to find, I Nidra and Liz are amazing teachers and I'm so lucky I got to meet them, but there are other amazing teachers out there. So I hope
Yes. Yes.
we thrive, and I hope other teachers see that they can bring their creativity and passion to a learning space that appreciates their body of knowledge and appreciates their work ethic and commitment
Yes.
to the students. And I hope to see, and I hope, our parents and our students are just talking about Wicked Academy saying, wow, you got to go to school here because you're going to love learning and you're going to excel and you're going to grow personally and academically and socially and emotionally and spiritually. And so I really hope for it to grow into all across our community and maybe even beyond. If you've looked at our logo, not only are we an acronym, but we have a door in there because we are all about opening new doors to the world. We just partnered with a Montessori school in Ecuador who are going to be pen pals with our kids. We just applied to have our students talk to astronauts next spring. And so we are already planning so many exciting things for next school year and can't wait for it to begin.
So once again, before we close this out, where are you guys located? So, people, when we put this out, they know where to find Wicked.
You can go to wicket.org, and our website's going to be live by May 3rd, but it's going to be wicketacademy.org. But you'll be able to access this off of wicket.org. So wicketacademy.org, there's going to be online options and meetup options for in-person learning. And please come check us out and see what we're all about. And we'd love for you to be part of our community.
Mm.
We're in Arizona.
Mesa, Arizona to start.
There we
Uh,
go.
yeah, it's going to be in the East Valley to start. Liz is in Maricopa, so we're going to be spreading to Maricopa before you know it, and hopefully all four corners of Arizona and then even beyond Arizona.
Final words from each of you.
I just want to piggyback on Karen's comment on being resourceful. And I think that's one gift we can give the students. And, even in research, we have lots of planning for research as well, because those are life skills they need when they grow older. So like what she brought up, teachers don't know everything. And I always tell my kids that, my students, I mean, and then, I want to show them that I don't know everything, but I am resourceful. And so I taught them that word. And that's like, use your, and then they go, resources. So I think that's one key thing we have to give our students instead of
Yes.
just, worksheet, work pages, whatever. They
Mm-hmm.
are knowing to go to the dictionary. If they're not sure about a definition or a spelling, they are learning how to navigate, research bars that are children safe. But I just wanted to close off on that. I think that's another gift we can grant these kids is you may not know everything, but you gotta know how to use your resources. And when I first met these two ladies, when we introduced ourselves to our group, they said, what do you hope out of, I told them, I hope to get out of this group is a network of resources. And that has happened, and we're still in connection from 3 years ago when I first met them. And
Yeah.
I always tell my students, it's okay to not know, but it's not okay to not try. So being resourceful and knowing how to find the answer versus not everybody knows everything. Not one person knows it all. We need each other. So.
Yeah, I want to see, that we're ongoing. That means that we didn't get there yet, so we're always learning. The doors is always open for new opportunities and, ideas. I'm sure some of our parents got a lot of ideas. New teachers that we bring in have a lot of ideas. We want to put it all together and have a partnership. Make this a everybody's school, not just top down person. We want everyone to feel comfortable. Oh, what can you bring to the table? Oh, what can you bring to the table? What do you want to see differently? What is it that we can do that you would that you want for your child? And then the values. We have the Christianity there, bringing that back. We lost the values. Good morning, thank you, those things, and showing love and some of that could work with behavior. So we want to kind of bring back some of the old traditions as far as the behavior wise, because we know when we went to school, we was a little bit different with our behavior. And we know why, because a lot of the values was into us where, that we have lost that. So we want to bring that back. And we just hope that the school will succeed. We're going to need everyone's help, not just few people. Hopefully, everybody will see the same vision and
Right.
want to get on board.
Awesome. Well, I think I just want to end with welcoming and hoping to meet new parents and students out there who want to be part of this community. We really want to focus on innovative learning. We want to inspire the next generation of leaders, and we want to ignite a learning space that's great for teaching and learning.
Well, ladies, I want to thank you all for being on here on the WIOS podcast. And to all our listeners out there, this is wicket.org. It's going to go active sooner than you probably think. But look them up, wicket.org. And when they go live, we will be there with you guys. And
Awesome.
and God has his hand on you on this journey, and it's going to happen. Going to start off small, but it's going to grow. So if you guys want to follow wicket.org, look out for their schools, and they're stationed out in Mesa, Arizona, and eventually they'll be spreading out. Check them out. Do you guys do online school too, you said?
Yes.
Online school, hey, if you want to bring your kids to a brand new school, you heard everything that they're talking about. It's going to be hands-on. It's going to be teaching about everyday life, everything that's going on, and bringing back the respect, the Christianity, and just bringing love back into the school and a family environment within the school and getting the community involved. And again, ladies, I'm excited for you all, and we'll be keeping you in prayers here. And once again, thank you. And don't forget, this is the Wicket Academy, wicket.org, with the big old W and a door in the middle. And we look forward to following your whole process and your progress. And so we'll be with you guys. So once again, thank you for following us. If you like what you heard today, follow YOOS. And you can follow us on TikTok. You can follow us, on yoos.com. We're on YouTube and so forth. So have a great evening, and thank you for joining us this evening. And I'm Ely, your host, and this is Wicked.
Thanks, Ely.
We're family strong. Two cousins in America where we belong. Join the journey.